Lots of times I post pictures of my guitars on Instagram and Facebook and Reddit and the gear page and some other sites. One of the questions I get, or one of the guitars I get asked about the most, is this one. It's a Fender Celtic Esquire. It's kind of like Fender's bastard stepchild of the early 2000s. When I first saw this guitar, I didn't really hear anything about it. I couldn't find any information online about it. I looked everywhere. It was really limited. It's pretty much like Fender wanted to like wipe it from its memory as far as its existence, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, it's pretty bare bones. I mean, there's only one humbucker, one volume knob, no tone knob or anything like that. But it's a pretty cool guitar. I picked it up dirt cheap. Apparently, like when they made these in 2003, they didn't sell it all, and they were literally blowing them out new for like $250 or so, something like that. But it's pretty cool. It's definitely not your typical Telecaster or Esquire. It's matching headstock. Mine, of course, has a big gash, little crack there. Oops. But you can see these things were made in Indonesia. What's really cool is there was 3 different models that came out when they released these. There was this one, which is the Celtic Esquire, and you can see the little Celtic inlay there on the 12th fret. There was a Celtic GT that had kind of like a racing stripe on it, and there was I believe it was called like the Scorpion. But apparently this one, the Celtic, was the only one that was all mahogany, which is kind of crazy. Most Telecasters are usually alder, ash, or maybe spruce or something like that, and they usually have the same for the maple or rosewood necks. Everything on here is mahogany, the whole thing, and unlike other Telecasters, instead of being a bolt-on net, it's a set neck, and it has one of the best feeling neck joints I've ever played. It's just perfectly formed for your hand to get to those upper frets. It just feels really, really good, really, really solid. See, it's also a carved top. I don't know if it's picking it up that well, but it's definitely not your typical just slab body Telecaster. It's definitely a little bit of a carved top. It's pretty cool. This one, it also comes with, it had graphite saddles on it. This one I put on locking tuners, the Spurtles, just to replace the ones that were on here. And it has ridiculously railroad tie jumbo frets. These took a little getting used to, especially if you're coming from a typical Fender or Strat type fret. But yeah, it sounds really good. The pickup that it comes with is a Fender Atomic 2, I believe. It's pretty hot. I mean, this is just running pretty much clean into an Ignitor Tweaker 15, the vintage 30 cabinet. I have a TC Hall of Fame reverb on for just a little bit of reverb. But I love bending on this neck with these frets. It just feels really good. Obviously this thing being really high output, it kind of comes into its own and really shines when you throw some dirt on there. So I have it running through Blackout Effectors, the Seriously Special Twosome, running on the blunderbuss fuzz side. And first off, you can hear the thing is dead silent with the fuzz on, which obviously the humbucker's really doing a good job there of killing everything. I'm used to using this thing with a normal Telecaster or a Strat where it's just crazy background noise. But when you run this thing through a fuzz, the sustain that this pickup has, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so I mean, this neck joint again, it just feels so comfortable. Has a nice beefy neck. It's definitely more of a C-shaped neck. There's none of the old school V. This thing is pretty much just made to just play hard and heavy. You're definitely not getting any kind of jazzy tones or anything like that out of here. I think the next thing I'm going to do to this is probably, for what I play, this is a little too high output for me, so I'm probably going to switch it with like some sort of like Lollertron type thing, or like a TV Jones type pickup. See how that switches it up. But you know, for whenever you're playing anything more heavy, you know, any kind of like solos or anything like that, this thing is pretty decent. Just messing around with the Acro Rec. Can't help but use that thing. Let me try with the EP booster. Yeah, so you know that you put any kind of dirt on this thing, and I think this thing really comes to life. Definitely not my first choice for anything having to be clean. You know, I really like neck pickups when I'm playing clean. But yeah, for any kind of like solo work, any kind of just, you know, fast and just harder stuff, this is definitely a great choice. And I mean, it's a legit Fender. It's definitely, you know, it's not Esquire or anything like that. You can probably find these. I've seen them anywhere from like 200 to 300 right now. The only problem is they barely sold any of them, so they're really hard to come by. You know, but check out eBay. Just keep your eye out. A lot of like used sections, like Guitar Center, things like that. They'll probably pop up occasionally. One other thing, this volume knob just is so. It's probably one of my favorite volume knobs. It's like one of those like grippy metal ones, but it's just real solid feeling. You know, it's perfect for rolling up. Like, try and do some volume swells. I mean, like I never thought I'd love a knob this much. Maybe I should watch how I word that. But yeah, this thing sounds great. Definitely a unique guitar. Definitely something that's totally different. I haven't seen many of these. There's a couple people I saw on like one of the Telecaster forums, and I think on the gear page that they have on. One guy actually sanding his down to the Mahogany, which there's no way in hell I'm doing, because that is just like, that's just way too much work. But yeah, it's just like a nice beater for, you know, a different sound. It's highly recommended. I'll probably do another video when I swap out the pickup, and then yeah, I don't know, probably see how it sounds, see what's better, or maybe, who knows, maybe I'll end up going back to the Atomic. But yeah, that's it for now. Message me with any questions you have about the thing, if there's anything else you want to hear.